I don't remember how I got here, but I fear that I may never leave, not for lack of ability, but for lack of will. That is, lack of will to be enslaved by the cruel confines of consciousness, fettered intolerably, each waking moment within the chains of its unalterable, immovable laws. I have begun to feel the fabric of this world. I sense it, that ever-present aura that surrounds and engulfs me, like an energy flowing through my veins, ebbing in and out with every breath I draw. I feel my heart steadying its beat to the rhythm of another. The deep internal hum of something much older, I grasp of it. The rippling, soft, infinitely malleable aether right beyond my fingertips. I long to be loose from the shackles of reality. I crave command of this corporal realm. I yearn for the embrace of the unfathomable. That was an amazing intro. Today, we will be going over level 221, Dreamscape. The survival difficulty is deceptive, varying safety, reality warping geometry, and unpredictable entities. Level 221 is entirely composed of the dreams of those who visit it, and on a map resembles a circle. All physical matter on this level, from its buildings to its terrain to entities, once existed solely in the dreams of a previous visitor. Each time a newcomer enters Genesis, it treats them as a source of data, using assets retrieving from their dreams in order to expand the building upon itself. Wow, that's really cool. As a result, a wanderer will never know what Genesis looked like prior to their arrival. Genesis itself contains of three key areas: the cafeteria, the landscape, and the void. The cafeteria is directly in the middle of Genesis, which the rest of the level expands outwards from it. Each wanderer who enters this level will first find themselves here. It is the most stable portion of the dreamscape, and the only part of 221 that is guaranteed to remain unaltered upon a newcomer's arrival. Because of this area acts as a neutral zone, a key region of safety for wanderers within the dreamscape. In terms of appearances, the cafeteria resembles a public Western school lunchroom. The cafeteria is unsuspectingly large, giving it a conceptuously vacant feel, even with the tables and chairs scattered around. Along the sides of the cafeteria are various serving aisles, occasionally stocked with various kinds of food. The food here is always safe for consumption, and almond water can be found in fridges and vending machines. I don't know about y'all, but I do not like almond water. But, I mean, if you're surviving in the backrooms, you have no other choice but to drink almond water. So, bottoms up. The second key area is the landscape. Consists of the conjoined pieces of the dreams taken from wanderers as they enter the dreamscape. It is a large region just beyond the cafeteria and the remainder of Genesis constructed area. It can only be described as a random collection of environments and locations glued together. The further out into the landscape a person goes, the more chaotic its generation becomes, and the less its world resembles anything real. A wanderer could find themselves in a field of daisies, only to walk over a hill and discover an apocalyptic wasteland. Not only does it expand, but updates are applied everywhere throughout the landscape once someone enters for the first time. The amount of changes that occur to the pre-generated regions of the landscape are determined by proximity to the void. Areas just outside the cafeteria would change very little, while the newly generated region will consist of all new data. This explains why the outskirts of the landscape tends to be more chaotic and dreamlike. So it seems that the landscape is very chaotic in nature the farther out you go as a wanderer, but the closer that you get to the cafeteria, the less chaotic it seems. I find it really cool that the landscape changes from the people who visited because of their dreams. I feel like that's like a really cool, unique idea. Sometimes dreams don't really make sense, so I feel like that's perfect for the backrooms. I have traversed the vast ruins, fragments of memories long forgotten. The distorted and unknowable, what we left to rot deep within the unconscious, a graveyard of the discarded dreams that did not fit within the framework of our reality, dreams that had no meaning to we who refused to look. Dreams were gifts given to free us of all the human condition, gifts that we shamefully and repeatedly push away upon wakefulness. How stupid we were. I understand now how blind I had been.
And then the landscape description continues. There are often gravitational discrepancies as well as a lack of spatial consistency. Many structures are built with nonsensical materials, objects, or a combination of such. Some colors appear incomprehensible and obscure, weather is seen frequently throughout various parts of the level. The third main key area is the void. While level 221 seems infinite, it is also incomplete. If a wanderer were to travel through the dreamscape for long enough in any one direction, they would eventually find themselves leaving the constructed area of the level and enter the void. At some point, the observable world is abruptly cut off, and in every direction there is nothing but a blank, boundless void of pure white. Wanderers who have briefly visited the void have reported a heightened sense of paranoia and often experience presense hallucinations. The vast white nothingness is thought to be the basis of level 221. As everything exists within it, many believe that before the first wanderer discovered the dreamscape, there was only the void. The nature of the dreamscape self-creation has led to much speculation among wanderers that the travel is actually sentient. This is not confirmed.
Even now it's watching me, that glimmer of white beyond the horizon. I do not fear it. It is the foundation of this world. I must embrace it. I close my eyes, sitting calmly on what is now a child's worn rocking horse. After taking a few deep breaths, I find myself looking across the Galantuan's Cloud River, my eyes resting on a small playground made of marble, several paces down the bank. I focus in feeling a vibration built deep within me. It resonates deep within my chest cavity, radioing out through my limbs and traveling down into the core of the dreamscape. The hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. The air presses in around me as if the dreamscape were tightening its grasp on my fragile body. I channel my breathing and form an image in my mind. The playground begins to change. It morphs and bends and starts to melt into a new substance. It doesn't change shape. Instead, the once marble structure before me has now become water. I twist my hand, and in response, small waves begin to ripple throughout the liquid form, still retaining the impression of a playground. I snap my fingers, and in an instant, like the pop of a balloon, the structure collapses and a dramatic splash upon impact. The ground immediately begins melting away with a volatile hiss, as if the water were a corrosive acid. It continues to liquefy and sink indefinitely, leaving a gaping hole within the landscape.
The properties of level 221. The geometry of Genesis is relatively stable near the center, but becomes progressively less. So the further one travels from the entry point, which is the cafeteria, the nature of the dreamscape also becomes increasingly apparent, and the dreamscape's unique reality warping hazards intensively with increased proximity to the void, which itself appears to be the source of this instability. Therefore, as level 221 increases in surface area with each newcomer, the energy responsible for the instability is spread over a wider region. Consequently, the stability degradation effect as one travels outward from the cafeteria toward the void has become more and more gradual over time. Due to how large Genesis has inadvertently become, this degradation is considerably more subtle than at the time of the dreamscape's initial discovery. Much more of the landscape surface surrounding the cafeteria has become relatively safe and habitable. The corruption observed at the very edge of the landscape bordering the void is the most severe. Buildings and objects may randomly glitch in and out of existence, unsuspectingly mutate in size and appearances, or shift and move around without warning. Wanderers have observed that it seems as if the level has not yet decided what to put in these areas, and is waiting until it can once again expand. Straying out toward the edge of the landscape, even for a short period of time, poses a high risk or injury and likely death. Influence. It has been observed that individuals who spend a prolonged period of time within the dreamscape tend to develop an extra normal amount of influence over the environment. These individuals are reportedly capable of manifesting simple objects at will, or even demonstrating telekinetic abilities. Although unconfirmed, uses of such influence include flight, appearance alteration, voice alteration, and teleportation. Send me to this level. That's freaking dope.
My flesh is not my own. It is part of the canvas which I paint upon. It is as much a part of me as the ground beneath my feet. I can feel my limbs, my breath, my dreary eyes, as well as I can the walls, the dirt, and the purple sky. I am the hand that molds the clay. I am the sculptor, the painter, the writer. I am neither here nor there. I am everywhere. I now exist beyond the boundaries of time itself. I am the dreamscape, and the dreamscape is me. I have become one with the infinitude of the dreamscape and its void. I hunger to reach beyond the boundless white, to test the limits of my expansion.
And that was a note from, I'm guessing, a wanderer who has spent long enough time in this level, abling to have these abilities. It kind of reminds me of lucid dreaming. Continued manipulation of the dreamscape may produce undesirable side effects. These include, but are not limited to, ego deletion, delusions of grandeur, derealization, euphoria, distorted sense of time, and paranoia. So yeah, there's sad side effects to this ability.
In the night.
It is important to note that the dreamscape possesses a day and night cycle. Whenever the dreamscape is in the night phase, the environment of Genesis will be cast under a blanket of deep blue and violet hues. Windows will typically emit white or other pastel colors light during this period. Strangely, entities and other individuals will appear black and white instead. Movement is impaired at this time, mainly in the form of reduced precision and speed. This often feels as if weights have been attached to one's body. Speech is also delayed, and it is increasingly difficult to yell or scream. This cycle is inconsistent and happens rapidly, changing states every 3 to 12 hours. Well, that freaking sucks.
Entities.
There are a fair amount of neutral entities scattered throughout level 221. These entities are unique manifestations from a wanderer's dreams, and often appear in the form of lost front room pets. These entities vary in behavior and friendliness, and they can be interacted with. They are rarely seen near the cafeteria, becoming more abundant towards the void. Less commonly, humanoid entities similar to the memory facelings have been spotted within the level. They are usually passive and do not acknowledge the presence of wanderers. It is best to be cautious in approaching these humanoid entities, as hostile entities often take on a similar humanoid form.
Bases, outposts, and communities.
The Dream Dwellers are relatively a small group of around 26 current members who inhabit the dreamscape. There are reportedly 9 members from this group who have stayed long enough to achieve notable influence over the dreamscape, one of which is rumored to even be able to reshape or alter entire rooms at will. This group is mostly friendly and watches over the cafeteria, helping wanderers stay safe and teaching them how to navigate the dreamscape. They have mapped out some of the surrounding areas, keeping track of the changes that occur. They only sleep 3 hours at a time, as it is believed that deep sleep increases the likelihood of entering 221. It is best to stay on alert, as there have been sightings of other wanderers who exist on the outskirts of Genesis. Their influence and motivations are unknown. Yeah, you don't want to get on one of their bad sides. They can freaking dream of a huge monster and crush you like that. Entrances. No clipping in specific locations in the fake realities of the end. The end is a level. If y'all want to know more about the level of the end, tell me in the comments down below. And make sure to like the video while you're at it. Let's get 10 likes at least. So I suppose that is the only entrance to this level. Exits. No clipping anywhere near the void has a chance of bringing you to level 101. Again, if y'all want me to go over level 101, tell me in the comments down below. And make sure to like. Falling into a deep sleep or falling asleep anywhere too far from the cafeteria runs a risk of entering into level 221. Walking through an iron gate engraved within the word exits leads you to level 994.
I've reached the end, the final threshold. This is my hell, my eternal torment. I have sinned, and I shall suffer for it. I do not deserve release. Here, I shall remain.
And this was the end to level 221. This is my first Backrooms video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed, because I definitely did. And I can make Backroom videos forever. I love Liminal Space, I love Fruitigo Era, I love Dreamcore, Weirdcore, all the cores. I love all that type of stuff, and I don't know why I never really made content on this until now. Let's get about 10 likes, and if you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe, because I feel like if you watched all the way until the end of the video, I'm pretty sure I earned it. These were the people that made this level, and also their critics / supporters. Without further ado, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications, and I'll see y'all wanderers on the next video. See ya.
It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found the somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, and even be glad just to be sad thinking of you.